I actually do think it's funny that these teams that have these multiple stars, like Phoenix, like the Lakers, are still sitting right with the Warriors. It's kind of embarrassing on their part.
We're not sitting right with the Warriors. We're 3 games ahead of you guys.
Yo, when I tell you 3 games could be gone in a week, it could be gone.
Not the way you guys play.
Well, the way you guys play, it ain't gonna be that far.
I don't know.
Well, I think the difference right now is that the Warriors have shown no willingness to make any moves.
They suck.
They traded for Dennis Schroeder, but Steph Curry, Draymond, and Steve Kerr all sitting in office meetings and saying, "Hey, listen, we can't trade nothing because we can't mortgage the franchise's future down the line." So they are very cognitive of the fact that they don't want to make a desperate move because they don't want to mess over the franchise later on. But I think, like, why wouldn't you?
Their
when
future
you have
pieces
Steph Curry?
aren't that good. Like, their baby pieces right now are not that good.
It's more so about the picks and the draft and not trading those. But how do you feel about Steph Curry, Draymond, and Steve Kerr basically just coming out and saying, we don't want to make a trade that's desperate because we don't want to be a bad team in the future?
I don't know, because I feel like it's been wishy-washy reporting. Like, I feel like they were talking about in the summer, and Steph came out and he was like, I want moves to be made. I want us to compete. Draymond said the same thing, and now they're saying they don't want to mortgage. Like, it's very wishy-washy. Listen, I'll say the same thing I said before. You had an opportunity to get Zach LaVine. You had an opportunity to get Paul George. Kind of dodged the bullet there. You had an opportunity to get Lauri Markkanen in the summer. You did not pull the trigger. You actually, outside of other teams, you had an opportunity to make a move and bring in a guy that can be that second punch. I get the whole Zach LaVine injury stuff, but what you was going to be stuck with Kuminga and Pods, like, you have to kind of you didn't have to give up a lot. It was going to be Chris Paul, somebody else, and like a first for Zach LaVine. So it wasn't even a crazy ass deal. So you had your opportunity, and now you're sitting here at 21 and 22 or something like that. You're like the 11th seed. You're 3 games back from the 5th, and Draymond Green's hurt. Jonathan Kuminga's hurt. You're two of your 5 best players. Wiggins is playing really well, so that's one of the few bright spots. Steph has knee tendonitis, so he's all banged up and fucked up.
Good night.
Yeah, so it's pretty much, I get it. Like, you don't want to, like same thing with the Lakers. You don't want to ruin the future and the possible. And because Steph Curry's also been talking about retirement. He's also been talking about the end and how I feel like if Steph goes, Dre goes. And I feel like along with Dre, Steve Kerr go. Like, I feel like they'll all go at the same time. So you need a next step for, the future. And I also think that's why they're hesitant to pay Kuminga. Because do you want to attach $40 million a year to a player and him be the driving force of your team, or do you just want to start fresh, So I kind of get it. At the same time, I do think you owe it to Steph to actually give it a chance, and I think you gave it a little bit of chance against Schroeder. I think they've been in calls to try to get Vucevic, so they're still trying to make a similar play. But you owe it to him to at least give it a chance. But I understand both sides. I think at this point the Warriors are not good, and you kind of have an opportunity to get a high pick in this draft. Maybe you go get Cooper Flag. That'd be fucking lit. But you have an opportunity to get a high pick in this draft, bring in another star, try to just try to rebuild off that. You don't want to mortgage any more future picks for players that are either older of age or they're attached to a long contract. So I get it.
We saw the last time that you guys had a high pick.
Didn't work out.
Who?
Guy's not even on the team anymore. James Wiseman.
Oh, the last pick was Kuminga.
No, I'm saying a high pick.
Kuminga was 7.
Yeah.
No.
Both were
But
high,
I know what
but
you mean.
Wiseman was the second overall
or
pick.
3. Yeah.
I mean, they
I'm
whiffed
sorry.
on that.
I just think top 10.
Remember when Bob Myers just resigned from the Warriors?
Yeah, he's on.
Well, I think
He's
that's
on ESPN now.
I think that's
Just a
part of it.
countdown.
I think part of why Mike Dunleavy took over, which we've discussed in the past, is you don't want to have as much of an emotional connection, right? You don't want to have GM like Bob Myers who helped build this. You had a dynasty. You thought Mike Dunleavy, and to his credit, up until this point, like, you were trying to take some of the emotional aspect away from it, where Riv's right, and I agree with you. Like, you do owe it to Steph Curry, right? Like, beyond just winning, what he's done for the NBA, what he's done for your organization, completely changed what we think of the Warriors, right? Like, shout out to LeBron for what he's done, but like, he's been with the Lakers for 4 years, right? Like, it's not like he completely changed what the Lakers were, right? He's the Lakers are still the Lakers. But I'm saying they still would have been regarded as the Lakers, for better or for worse.
Dog shit.
But they would still be viewed as the Lakers. The Warriors were nothing before Steph.
It's not a comparison, brother.
What the fuck were the Warriors? Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
of course.
$1 billion organization.
Regardless, though,
I understand your standpoint.
the Warriors are still in a similar situation to the Lakers, that I don't see a move out there that's going to be making them a championship contender. And if you don't have a move to make you a championship contender, what's really the point to go get a Nikola Vucevic? So you're what, like, instead of the 11th seed, maybe you sneak into the play-in, and now you got to play OKC round 1, and
I
now
think
you
that's
get
really all they want. Just remain competitive. You know,
But that's the worst. Like, the worst thing to be is competitive. That's why, I mean, the Bulls are basically the epitome of that, where it's like, you know what? Like, we're going to go out there. We're going to try to win. Like, we have, you know, we got good talent. We were in the play-in last year. We're going to run it back, you know, because we're the Bulls.
Two-part question is, number one, is there any way that Steph Curry and Draymond Green just retire out of nowhere? After the season ends, they know that next year they can't compete, and they're just like, you know what? I don't even see a reason to play next year.
I don't think Steph would ever do that. I think he'll
You
definitely.
don't think he wants to tour?
I think
I don't
he'll
know if he'll
definitely
tour.
give it a. This is my last year. Like he'll give us a no. Draymond is very much in the mind of he has that vibe where he could just say, "Nah, I'm done."
Number two is Steph Curry even tradable? I know that sounds crazy, but look at the teams that need a point guard.
He can play
There
the
aren't
too, bro.
that many teams that need a point guard, and there aren't that many teams that cap space wise they can even match the contracts to go get Steph.
That's the bigger issue.
Or that it makes sense.
How much he plays? He gets.
He's getting 60.
It's an insane
impossible.
contract.
Nah,
It's insane.
Houston could do it.
But would it make sense for them?
I mean, he'll retire in a year, so they get the money back.
He wouldn't retire in a year if he's going to
And
a
I don't
team
think
he's
that the
gonna
Warriors
win.
would trade with the Rockets.
No, I don't think he's get traded. So I don't even think the conversation. It wouldn't make sense. Like I don't think Steph would get traded or be traded. Like $60 million.
I think
Heart to the
that's what they
franchise.
realized, though. Steph is amazing. We don't have the team to compete at a high level. What can we really do that isn't going to tank our future and can try and build a contender around him? There's not really great free agents on the market available
Don't
for
have
us. We don't really have money to spend like that. We're really handcuffed. I think the best case for us to do is hope that Steph can be good enough to try and make the playoffs, make the play-in, try and do his best. Like they did I think 2022, they did a great job of putting great talent around him. But at the same time, was this an overwhelmingly great team in
So
2022?
much better than this team, though.
No, by far.
I think
but
you think
I think
more-
you understand my point.
This is more like the 2021 team. But Steph isn't the same guy in 2021.
Agree.
Can Steph still be the number one player on a championship team to you?
I think 1B.
I said it before the season. I agree with this. Can he be the one? I don't think so. And that's not a bad thing.
Like you put him on the Rockets, can they compete for a championship?
Yeah.
Can they compete for a championship?
Yeah.
I think they can compete for a championship.
It's a great defense around. Yeah. I think, yeah.
Is
yeah.
that better than a healthy Mavericks or OKC?
I think
It's
is.
close.
It'd be a good series.
It'll give them a better chance than what they have now.
I think so.
I think, like,
and
that
I think
puts-
Steph would get everything
but
in motion
also
for the
with the
Rockets.
Rockets, you don't. I don't know if you have a 1A. You don't. We
But
know
I
you
think
don't have a 1A.
that opens up the floor just for everybody.
Yeah, it makes offense easier for sure.
Because they're already, like, you put Steph with Houston, now you're thinking, all right, we got wing defenders around him. We got guys that can cut. We got guys that can move the ball. Like, yeah, that gives us a much better chance than what we have right now.
That's like
package
the-
to get Steph though. If you're
It
the
would be
Rockets.
Fred VanVleet and then
Dylan Brooks.
another contract.
I forget that they make up
Cam
60
Whitmore, maybe?
M's.
They make 60.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they realistically could do it if they really wanted to.
Fred make up 40. That's right there.
But
Fred
I
has
just think
been huge for them this year, though.
with their rivalry, I don't
Obviously,
think they'd
Steph
ever
Curry
deal with
traded,
each
no
other.
doubt, but
Yeah, they wouldn't. Like,
No.
teams
Especially
like,
to that magnitude.
Yeah, like, it's only a few teams, like, that would help. Like,
Magic would be dope.
I feel like
would
the
be dope.
Magic would be the perfect spot for
Yeah.
Steph.
What would you have
if
to
they're
give him?
healthy.
You got to throw up KCP
Anthony Black, Jonathan Isaac.
and KCP. Yeah,
Then it could be KCP. You could keep them. It could be Jonathan Isaac,
25,
Anthony Black,
8.
and one more player that's making a lot of money on their
I
team.
know Gary's making about 12.
KCP? Did you say that already?
Might have
Wagner's
to-
making 11. You might just send 5 guys.
Yeah. We're not move. Oh, Mo.
Yeah, Mo Wagner. He's making about 11. I wouldn't hate Orlando.
Yeah,
Plus, you
Orlando
do it in the
is-
East.
I tried to get Levine to Orlando. It's hard. It's hard to do it.
Nah, just Isaac and how much? Is
Are
he
we
make?
giving up Isaac?
Oh, so
You have
okay.
to.
So what
But
did
that's
be
what I'm saying.
KCP?
Do we want to give him up?
The
Yeah,
three
Steph Curry.
players that make up the
Steph is-
contract,
Go
because
Levine.
Steph is making $60 million next year, but I think this year he's at $40 million. So it would be Jonathan Isaac, Cole Anthony, and Anthony Black. That would be enough to
He's
make up the
making
contracts.
40.
Hey, listen,
LA?
you put Steph on Orlando, cinema.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a fun team.
I think Steph Curry with Paulo, with Franz, with KCP, with Jalen Suggs, with
Would it
Wendell
look
Carter.
right?
He won't look right in any other jersey.
He'll never look right
Never.
in nothing else.
I don't know, bro. Him in the Knicks uniform would be fire.
I could see him in a Knicks jersey.
I could see him in a Knicks jersey.
It's a
for
shame.
sure.
He's supposed to get
Knicks
drafted
don't want
there.
him.
Him in anything other than Golden State.
It's gonna look weird.
dreadful. It's like Dirk in anything other than Dallas or Tim Duncan.
So
in anything
if
other than
that's
San
the
Antonio.
case, I'm sure basketball purists really want to see him set into the sunset with the Golden State Warriors. Then don't even have this conversation. Appreciate the unbelievable years that the Golden State Warriors gave. Understand that Steph Curry's one of, if not the best point guards to ever play this game. The time's done.
It just seems like they're just kind of wasting him because even when Dirk was older, they tried. Like they got Monte Ellis, and that was at the time
See?
a good move.
But the Lakers tried with Nash, with Dwight. They ended up failing.
At least they made the playoffs. Kobe got hurt too.
They did.
Unfortunately.
They
Yeah,
did. But
and
you,
Dwight
but
had a shoulder
You
injury.
understand what I mean there. It's you have an older guy,
But there's the thing. Like
got in a roster.
they tried with stars. Like I think that's where Golden State fans are upset because you're not trying to get another star with him. Nobody's asking you to go get a fucking Anthony Davis or go get a Kevin Durant. No, they're just asking for you to pair Steph with Steph hasn't had a legit star in some time.
I think we've gotten to that because we were now asking for the Lauri Markkanens, but Pascal Siakam, you didn't ideally want.
No, I
See,
didn't
but
think he.
you
I didn't,
understand
I
what
don't
I
think
mean
he. I
there?
didn't think he fit Golden State. I wanted Zach. I thought Zach
I'm
fit
with you.
perfectly.
I think Zach
with Golden
still
State.
could work
Like yeah,
out.
Zach was a low end star, but he fits exactly what Golden State
I
wants.
think the Warriors fans just look back at
went
this
for Buddy Hield.
timeline, and they
nuts,
they
right?
just try to merge timelines. You know, they
that was
had
also the fuck
the
up.
second overall pick. They had lottery picks with Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga.
also missed on those
And,
picks.
Yeah, instead of trading them to get an established player,
They never did.
They just
never.
they kept them and they didn't develop them
That
right.
second overall pick should have been hauled. Hindsight so crystal clear 2020. I still think they should have took LaMelo. It is what it is. However,
I mean, there's so many players like DeAndre Hunter would be better than what they had.
I mean, they got nothing.
they had exactly. They have a guy that's.
I don't.
on the
Only person
Pistons
I
still?
give grace
Some-
to is
he's
Moses Moody.
He's injured now.
He's out. He's on the Pacers. He got.
he went to the Pacers,
He's out
right.
for the year.
Say?
The only person I give grace to is Moses Moody.
Because he doesn't even get
He
burned.
doesn't get an opportunity.
think
And
about it.
Kuminga's not. Kuminga was the hit out of the three,
Yeah.
right? But when you look back on it, it's like
He doesn't even
still
fit
could
like
have been.
the roster.
Kuminga's a good ball player.
He was the
though.
Ross.
I still will say he's a good
They
ball
knew
player.
what they were doing.
Like
when
if
they
you think
drafted him.
about it, if they actually drafted like the right players and didn't bank on like potential, because I think that's what they did with the picks outside of Moses Moody for the most part.
Well, he's 19.
Jonathan Kuminga, like you draft Franz Wagner instead of him. This looks a lot different.
They drafted to prepare for life without the
You
Steph.
draft
Which is
Şengün
insane.
instead of Moses
And they
Moody.
just did like 5
things
years
look a lot
early.
different.
Yeah,
That's
they-
the
they-
issue.
they
like if
draft-
Steph was going to retire the next year,
But they
next
also
2 years-
remember that summer they didn't think they would win the chip. Like that summer when
yeah,
they
yeah.
drafted Kuminga and they drafted Moody, they didn't even believe in the team to win the chip. They
Like
just thought they'd be
Moses
a
Moody,
competitive
he was
team.
drafted ahead of Şengün, Trey Murphy,
Also Şengün.
Herb Jones, Jalen Johnson.
But Herb
Hindsight.
Jones, to be fair, nobody knew.
Yeah, but Jalen Johnson and
Yeah, hindsight.
that
to
he
go
would
for
be
Herb
dead.
Jones
That's
was
what I
nuts.
mean.
he went within those picks. I think he was the 19th pick in the draft.
Who?
Jalen Johnson.
Yes, but Herb Jones
Herb
going
Jones
all the way
was
that back. for
literally
Trey
hindsight
Murphy
is-
was a 17th
That's
pick.
valid. Herb was like a
Şengün
late.
was the
Wasn't he
16th
pick
pick.
53,
Yeah.
something like
Yeah,
that?
but
Trey got traded though. Remember the
Yeah.
team who drafted didn't even want him.
Yeah, because Zaire Williams was
He was also another-
the top pick for the
Zaire.
Grizzlies. No, but yeah, the Warriors had like chances to draft
sure,
like
for
the
sure,
right
for sure.
players.
Josh
they just
Primo
didn't
got
draft.
drafted over Şengün.
But it makes you think, even if you drafted the
San
right
Antonio's
players,
still
like
fine.
is Franz Wagner what Franz is now? Is Şengün what Şengün is now? Like obviously the talent is still better, but it's hard to merge timelines. Like you don't really see a team that has vets ready to compete for a championship while also developing these young players in just a smooth process. So even if they hit on those picks, outside of like Herb Jones is like this elite role player and like doesn't really need the ball in
He'd
his
have been
hands.
fucking
But
lit.
like Şengün and Franz, I don't know if it would have been who they are now.
So man, Şengün would have been different with the
Hey,
Warriors.
listen, if y'all notice, you don't see me complain too much about Golden State games. My pressure is low. I'm vibing. You gotta
You
just
won
you,
multiple
you know when it's over.
championships.
Yeah, you know when it's over.
I don't enjoy watching Lakers basketball.
Because
I
you still
literally
think you
get
have a
paid.
chance.
I mean, you see that man? You see what he's done
I
for
know
me?
it's over, dude. It's like, dude, this team sucks. But I'm here for the vibes, though.
It just
Like Wiggins is back.
That-
I love
that's
every bit
huge.
of it.
That's
I love
huge.
every bit of it.
it just kills me when I watch the Lakers and it's games that we should win and we just have no energy. We have no heart.
I think what sucks the most is the Jordan Poole situation.
That hurt me.
I think things look a lot different. Maybe not right now.
That's
but
only in hindsight.
Not really, because
We
when
didn't
he got
talk about it
he
at all
played,
last
he
year.
played well when he got punched in the face that year.
No, that year he hooped.
And then he was asked
I'm just
one year,
saying,
and he was great
After
this
he
year.
got
Played
traded,
bad.
nobody cared.
He played bad after the punch.
Yeah,
After
the
that
playoffs were
year.
really bad.
That
Yeah, the playoffs
messed
was
up
terrible.
the entire vibe.
The playoffs, he was bad, but then the next year when he got traded, he was not a good basketball player.
He's
He
doing
was
this-
dealing with a lot of
It was a
emotions.
clown show in
It's
Washington
tough.
as a
Yeah.
whole.
I mean, you go from the Warriors,
But
one
he's
of the
only
best run
had one
organizations,
bad
to
year
Washington.
in the last 4 years.
Say it one more time.
He's only had one bad year in the last 4
I
years.
agree.
Yeah,
he
so-
had a bad playoff into a bad year.
Yeah.
So nobody really was on Jordan Poole's side. No one. This year, he's back. And we give him acknowledgement. He's definitely put time and effort into his game this year. Fair enough. But that wasn't the conversation right after. It's only now that he's hooping again that we're like, man.
But here's where you got to be
should've
fair to
been
Jordan Poole.
better.
That year,
I
remember,
feel
he
like-
was starting when Steph got hurt that year. He got punched in the face. Jordan Poole was starting.
Why are these conversations coming back up is what I'm saying. Because
He's
hooping.
playing well, but I
That's
also
it.
feel like Draymond Green's punch took a mental toll
on
on
the
him,
locker room.
and that's why he played poorly and he was
Yeah.
inconsistent.
Yo,
That's
he
what
hasn't
we're
really
saying.
gotten better.
I'll go out here
He's
and
been the
punch.
same- he's the
I'll
same
go out here
player.
and punch Riv in the face. We're gonna
Yo,
come
what?
back to the podcast tomorrow and be
Coming
like, "Oh
back.
yeah, everything's
you won't
good."
Make it back.
Fucking guy.
You want me-
You won't make.
That's
I'll
what
be
like
damned
it
if I
don't
come
it
up
Oh,
don't
here.
matter if we got fucking everything, the best producers, the best everything. Like it's still there's
gonna be
I
beef.
just
it's
think it's
wrong.
very
Yeah.
it's very telling that everybody on the team had no problem with Jordan Poole. Everybody, Wiggins was cool
Draymond
with
is-
him.
it's
Clay was
Draymond,
cool with
you know
him.
what I
Steph
mean?
was
Like-
cool with him. Draymond was the only person that had
Draymond
a
said he
problem with
called
him.
him a bitch.
Let me ask you a question. Was Steph cool with Jordan?
He wrote
That
him a
was Lil
goodbye
Bro.
post.
I only say that for the fact of like
a
on the
hater.
court. Was Steph the biggest fan of Jordan
No,
Poole's
when he does
actions?
the dumb shit. No,
Yeah.
no.
That's all I mean.
But
the
that
thing
was
is,
little bro.
those- especially that
was
year they
Lil
won
Bro.
it's
the
like
chip.
off the court, I'm sure they're bros, but on the court, Jordan Poole definitely had some moments where he would.
But
do
he had
some
so
dumb
many
shit.
good, especially when they went to the chip and they won, bro. He had so
Steph
many
Curry
good
got
moments.
ejected because of Jordan Poole.
Yeah, I mean, they all hated Jordan Poole was like the dumb little brother. They
Yeah,
all hated
yeah,
when he
yeah.
did some dumb shit at the end of the game.
but he did so much fucking.
Yeah, they
if,
love-
they wouldn't
they
win a
love
chip
Poole.
without
Yeah,
him. You know what I mean?
Draymond
Like,
and Jordan Poole, I think, had the real toxic relationship. Like they just were not able to be around each other, kind of thing. I think Steph and they all got along, and I just think that year it made it so weird because Jordan Poole is cool with Clay and he's cool with Steph, but Draymond is cooler with them than he is.
They
And
gotta
Jordan
take
Poole is
Draymond
with
and
them.
the video getting out made it even worse. Like
Yeah.
the fact that
Absolutely
you
see
could
Jordan
see
hit the
that
fuck.
shit get
I would love to know
cracked.
who's dropped that vid, man.
Nah, they should have gotten fired immediately.
Didn't TMZ like pay somebody for it? I think it was something like that.
That's
yeah,
wicked.
nah, Jordan,
did Jordan
Jordan
dirty.
dropped immediately. It was kind of.
I mean,
He
Draymond
dropped
yeah,
immediately,
you know what
dude.
I mean?
It was like
I dropped
immediately,
too.
bro.
I hate that for him.
Yeah, I do too. Like it was an immediate drop.
Like,
He's
man-
6'7"
man-
force, coming at you.
Straight.
Like
Like
man
that
to man,
much.
like I hate that for Jordan.
Dre probably said he probably was just like, "You bugging." Boom, and he just dropped. It was like,
With that much size coming towards you, it's gonna take you, by surprise.
you think if that video never came out, we would have known about it?
hell no.
Yes.
That would have kept it under wraps. You think?
It would have just been like
it would have gotten leaked eventually?
because you got to remember
Somehow,
2020.
some way.
before the video, they was already making reports about how Draymond was getting aggravated because the young kids came back to training camp and they had the big heads and they was a little bit excited. You know, and
was
Jordan,
hating.
Jordan Poole had
was in
every
training
right
camp.
to do that.
Jordan Poole was in training camp, fake wilding, like fake, like doing a little too much. Dre just the one that, oh wow, Dre just the one dude who like, nah, I ain't hearing that. I ain't doing that. So it's cool though.
I think even if the video didn't get out, it would have still ruined the season for them.
Yeah, I'm just
I
saying the
think-
media probably
yeah.
wouldn't have known, but in the locker room, you can't hide that.
Yeah, that tension is gonna
Hey, that
be
season
there.
was a movie at home. It was on the road, but at home, team was lit.